So your body just doesn't wake up sick one day. It's been trying to tell you something for years, and most of us don't really speak the same language. So I think about how many people I've talked to who say something like, I was totally fine, and then suddenly I had this. And I totally get it, and I know that's how it feels, but there's almost always a story behind the story, a long series of small signals the body sent that nobody really knew how to read, including the person living in the body. So here's exactly what we're covering today: the Ayurvedic concept of disease pathogenesis, what it's actually called and where it comes from, all 6 stages of how disease builds one by one, what modern science is now confirming about the exact process, the window where everything is still easy to reverse, and how to know you're in it, and what to actually do about it. So let's get into it. In Ayurveda, there's this concept called Samprapti. It's the theory of how disease is born and how it travels through the body. And the word itself comes from Sanskrit. Sam means complete. Prapti means attainment or acquisition. So Samprapti is literally the complete acquisition of disease. The Charaka Samhita, one of the foundational classical texts of Ayurveda, describes Samprapti as the sequence of events from causation all the way to symptom manifestation. And it outlines how a dosha, which is one of the 3 physiological forces that govern the body, can become aggravated, overflow, travel, and ultimately land in a vulnerable tissue and take root there. And what makes this framework so remarkable is that it doesn't begin at diagnosis. It begins at the very first whisper of imbalance, often years, sometimes even decades before any recognizable condition appears. And it maps every step in between. So there are 6 stages of Samprapti. They're also called the 6 times of action because each stage is a movement where intervention is still possible. So let's walk through them. Stage 1 is accumulation, and this is where it starts. A dosha begins to build up in its home site in the digestive system. For vata, that's the colon. For pitta, that's the small intestine. And for kapha, that's the stomach. So what triggers it? Repeated habits that introduce qualities that are mismatched with the body's current state. So that would be like too much food, too much of the same food, chronic stress that never fully resolves, a sleep schedule that ignores the body's natural rhythm, season after season of the same pattern. And at this stage, the body is still fully compensating. A person feels essentially normal. But if you tune in, there are very faint signals that could often go missed. Maybe a subtle heaviness after meals, low appetite in the morning, a little more sluggishness than usual. And the body is actually communicating in this stage. Ayurveda says that the person often craves the opposite of what's aggravating them. It's kind of like a built-in correction signal, but we usually override it. So stage 2 is provocation. This dosha is now aggravated. It's restless in its home site, pushing against its container, and the body's whisper gets a little bit louder in this stage. So now there are real actual symptoms, but they're still really subtle, even enough that most people just explain them away. And it can be like a persistent coating on the tongue in the morning, bloating that shows up reliably after certain meals, reflux that comes and goes, a reoccurring afternoon slump or crash, mood that drops predictably around the same time every day. And here's the critical thing about stage 1 and stage 2. The dosha is still in the digestive tract, and that means that Agni, your digestive fire, is still present and working. The body can still course correct. In Ayurveda, this is the golden window. Simple changes to food, routine, and lifestyle can reverse the process entirely at these stages. So stage 3 is spread. And this is the hinge points. If the causative habits continue, the aggravated dosha overflows its home site and enters the blood and channels of the body, which we call the srotas in Ayurveda. Now in this stage, it's circulating systemically. Symptoms at this stage often feel unrelated to digestion, like fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, a brain fog that shows up in the mid-morning. It can be inflammation that seems to migrate throughout your body. You're achy one week, you're congested the next week, skin that flares up around the same time each month. And this is also the stage where ama, which is undigested metabolic waste, starts to accumulate in the channels, not just in the gut. Ama in Ayurveda is the substance that blocks flow. It disrupts tissue, nourishment, and it sets the stage for disease to land somewhere. The stage 4, deposition. The wandering dosha finds a weak spot. Ayurveda calls this a defective space, a tissue that's been under stress, a channel that's been blocked, a place where the body's resilience has really worn kind of thin, and it lands there. And this is where individual constitution becomes absolutely everything. The same pattern of imbalance in two different people will not land in the same place. So in one person, excess kapha settles in the lungs. In another, it deposits in the joints. In a third, vata can be carried along and lands in the colon or the nervous system. And the pathology at this stage has a name in Ayurveda, but not yet in Western medicine. No lab marker has crossed the threshold yet. No diagnosis really exists yet. And this is the silent zone where conventional care has absolutely no language for what's happening, but Ayurvedic pulse diagnoses and symptom mapping can see it clearly. So stage 5, manifestation. So now it becomes visible. Symptoms are consistent, defined, and recognizable, and a diagnosis is now possible by Western medicine and Ayurveda standards. So the body's compensatory mechanisms have run out of capacity, and this is the stage where most people first walk into a doctor's office, and conventional medicine is extraordinary at this stage. And naming the condition, managing symptoms, preventing progression. But what it often can't do is trace back through stages 1 through 4 to understand why this tissue is in the person at this time. So stage 6, differentiation. So in the final stage, the disease becomes its own entity. Structural changes start occurring in the tissues, complications start to develop, and the condition now has a certain momentum that's largely independent of the original cause. And the focus shifts from reversal to management. So this is chronic disease as most people understand it. And if Agni is something that you want to understand a little more deeply, I actually have a full video that goes into exactly what it is, how to know if yours is compromised, and also what to do about it. I'll link it at the end or somewhere up here if I can figure out how. So here's where it really gets interesting, because this framework, disease building invisibly before it actually becomes diagnosable, is exactly what modern researchers are now mapping at the molecular level. So a 2021 review posted in the Journal of Ethnic Foods drew a direct connection between Ayurveda's model of Agni and Ama and the modern science of gut microbiome function and dysbiosis. The researchers described how when digestive capacity is impaired, bacterial imbalance produces elevated levels of lipopolysaccharides, or LPS, which enter the bloodstream and trigger what's called metabolic endotoxemia, which is a state of low-grade systemic inflammation. So if that sounds familiar, you'll remember that that's stage 3 of Ayurveda's disease progression described in molecular terms. And Ayurveda's radical contribution here isn't just naming the stages. It's often a clinical method for catching them early. Tongue assessment, pulse diagnosis, digestive symptom mapping, seasonal awareness. These tools exist precisely because the tradition understood that disease is most addressable before it even has a name. So what do you do with this information? So the first thing to understand is where reversal is realistic. Stage 1 and 2 are fully and easily reversible with lifestyle and dietary correction. Remove the mismatched habit, rekindle Agni, the body usually rights itself. Stage 3 is still reversible, but requires a little more focused effort. The dosha is circulating, ama has started to accumulate, and you really need to actively address both at the same time. And stage 4 is reversible with dedicated, consistent Ayurvedic care and often takes months rather than weeks. Stages 5 and 6 require management. The goal shifts from reversal to halting further progression and improving quality of life. So the second thing to understand here is how to read the early signals. Coated tongue in the morning is information. Bloating that shows up reliably after the same meal is information. Fatigue that doesn't lift with adequate sleep is information. And a seasonal pattern of congestion, joint stiffness, or mood shifts is also information that your body is trying to tell you. And these are stage 1 and 2 signals. They are the body doing exactly what it was designed to do. Communicating before the situation becomes urgent. The practice Ayurveda calls Samprapti, Vikhatana, breaking the disease process, is exactly this. Identifying which stage you're in and interrupting the chain before it completes. Sometimes that means like a seasonal cleanse. Sometimes it means addressing sleep or stress before you ever even touch the food. And sometimes it's just as simple as adjusting what you eat in a particular season. So the framework doesn't require perfection, it just requires attention. So here's what I want you to take from this. Disease is a process, not an event. Samprapti shows us the process has 6 stages and the first few stages are almost entirely in our hands. So you now know the 6 stages: accumulation, provocation, spread, deposition, manifestation, and differentiation. So you know that modern science is catching up to what this tradition mapped thousands of years ago. And now you know that the early stages, the ones where most of us are living right now, are the most powerful place to work. So the video that I want you to watch next is my full breakdown of Agni, like what it is, the 4 types, and how to tell which one you're working with. Because understanding Samprapti without understanding Agni is like knowing a river is flooding without knowing where the water comes from. And if you want a practical starting place, my free Agni plate guide breaks down how to build meals that actually support your digestive fire. It's free and it's linked in the description below. If this kind of content is your thing, Ayurveda, gut health, and the places where ancient wisdom and modern science meet, I would love to have you here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I also want to hear from you. Which stage do you think you've been living in? Put it in the comments. I read every single one. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.